and no running water to drink. Chemicals contaminate the pipes leading to your sink. Just think, if the grocery stores close their doors and they saturate the streets with tanks to start martial law, would you be ready for civil war? Would you take the life of somebody you know?
The natural environment is our life support system. Like all species, we depend on its various elements to sustain ourselves. Without fresh air to breathe, clean water to drink, and healthy soil for our food to grow, we will quickly perish. Although the vast majority of humans have been coerced into abandoning their natural habitats for artificial human environments, we all still depend on air, water, and soil to survive. Therefore, destroying our natural environment is suicide. Yet that's exactly what we're doing. The continued destruction of the natural environment is a widely accepted fact. In the 1990s, 1,500 prominent scientists, which included a majority of living Nobel Prize winners, signed a warning to humanity that population growth, overconsumption, inappropriate technological applications, and continued economic expansion are destroying the very life support systems that we all need to survive. A similar documented warning was also issued by 58 World Academies of Science that human-created destruction is out of control. In the last few years, scientists from Cornell University estimated that now more than 40% of deaths globally are directly caused by pollution and other environmental factors. It is estimated that air pollutants now adversely affect the health of over 5 billion people worldwide. In China, respiratory disease is a leading cause of death, with only 1% of 500 Chinese cities having clean air. Of the 80,000 chemicals in use today, at least 10% are recognized as carcinogens. In the United States, cancer-related deaths increased from 331,000 in 1970 to 521,000 in 1992. At least 30,000 of these deaths were directly related to chemical exposure. Even though the use of lead in U.S. gasoline has declined since 1985, an estimated 1.7 million children living in the U.S. have unacceptable, dangerous levels of lead in their blood. Pesticide use globally also continues to be on the increase. In 1945, an estimated 50 million kilograms a year were used, compared with over 2.5 billion a year currently. Today's pesticides are more than 10 times as toxic to living organisms as those used in the 1950s. Our forests continue to be depleted, our waterways contaminated, our air polluted. Global warming continues to increase, and it is quite clear that life on this planet is in great danger. If we do not choose to realize this and take appropriate action immediately, the Earth will no longer be able to sustain life for future generations.
Open your eyes, time to wake up. Enough is enough, is enough, is enough. Open your eyes, time to wake up. Enough is enough, is enough.
The destruction of life is not a mere random occurrence, but a deliberate act of violence performed by those entities concerned with nothing more than pursuing extreme economic gain at any cost. With this realization in mind, it becomes only logical to work to remove the profit motive from killing the earth and all life on it.
Particularly with the advent of the Industrial Revolution, the westernized way of life has been in complete violation of natural law. There is a major difference between taking actions for the immediate sustenance of you, your family, and your close-knit community, and actions taken to stockpile wealth and to demonstrate power and dominion over, and oftentimes at, the expense of others. Yes, everyone should have access to the basic necessities of living: a suitable shelter, not only for you, but for the natural environment; access to healthy food, again, not just for you, but for the natural environment; access to proper health care, etc. But there is no excuse for, out of pure greed and selfishness, desiring more than you need to live a free and happy life. The majority of stockpiling, greed, and monetary wealth comes at the expense of others, whether humans, non-human animals, or the natural environment. It is the very social and political ideology in operation throughout the westernized countries that is creating the various injustices on this planet and ultimately the destruction of life. That ideology is capitalism and the mindset that allows it to exist. Capitalism, and what we have referred to in the United States for years, the American dream, have long symbolized a form of economic opportunity and freedom. The idea that no matter who you were, if you worked hard all your life, you too could have the perfect husband or wife, the 2.3 kids, the new BMW or Mercedes, the beach house on Maui and penthouse in New York City, and loads of cash to play with.
What wasn't and still isn't told to the millions seeking the American dream is that dream comes at a price, always has and always will. That price consists of everything from taking advantage of slave labor, dumping toxic waste into our waterways, murdering those who take a stand for justice, destroying cultures, destroying environments, and exploiting and oppressing anyone or anything that poses to be a threat, a nuisance, or a bump along the path to riches.
Often our governments pride themselves on freedom and liberty and assert that all problems can be resolved through legal, state-sanctioned means of social change. But when decades of attempts to solve problems through legal means have proven fruitless, are we supposed to continue to work strictly within the law or give up altogether? When the state itself causes and profits from the various injustices we struggle against, how is it logical to believe the system will change without being forced? Every successful social movement throughout history has included both legal and illegal tactics. And if we are to succeed today, our efforts need to be equally diverse. The mainstream public has been fed an extreme amount of false and misleading propaganda regarding traditional tactics as those which are strictly legal and sanctioned by the state. But in reality, a more honest definition of traditional tactics would include illegal direct action, such as economic sabotage, due to its crucial role in numerous successful political and social movements throughout history. State-sanctioned tactics have been proven not to work, especially on their own. Since the early 1960s, the popular environmental movement has failed in its attempts to bring about the needed protection to stop the destruction of life on this planet. The quality of our air, water, and soil continues to decrease as more and more life forms on the planet suffer and die as a result. How much longer are we supposed to wait to actually stop the destruction of life? A belief in state-sanctioned legal means of social change is also a sign of faith in the legal system of that same state. This blind faith has only served to increase the rates of incarceration and police brutality cases of those acting to protect the natural world. The state has repeatedly shown itself to care far more about the protection of commerce and profits than of its people and the natural environment. To place faith in that same state as though it will do what is in our best interests is utter foolishness and a grave mistake. There is also a certain intelligence and logic to the idea that with one night's work, a few individuals can accomplish what years of legal battles and millions of dollars most likely did not.